Hello, everyone. I'm that one nerd, Jacob,
And I'm that one Scout Collins.
and welcome to episode 9 of Those Nerds on a Podcast. And before we get into today's theme, I want to nerd out. Nothing like the last time I nerded out at the beginning of the episode. I'm not gonna be.
Nerd out straight out of the gate, huh?
I'm not gonna be talking about my dead mom. I swear. This one's more funny. Okay, okay.
Funny, hee hee hoo hoo.
All right, here we go. Nerd out. Okay, so March Madness. For anybody who doesn't know what March Madness is, it is the yearly college basketball tournament. You know, there's the men's tournament, the women's tournament. I'm going to be specifically talking about the men's tournament because the both the apps that I use did not let me make a bracket for the women's tournament for some fucking reason. But yeah, so March Madness. My bracket is fucked. I
Ah,
mean, absolutely destroyed. Let me tell you something here. There has been one instance before this year in the entirety of the March Madness tournament where a number 16 seed has upset a number 1 seed.
yeah, I remember that.
Last night, Purdue, the number 1 seed for their region, got upset by a number 16. And everyone's bracket is now busted. Nobody has the ability to have the perfect bracket after the first fucking round. And that is insane to think about. But one thing that I want to talk about since I'm nerding out about it is my work league bracket that I participated in. Um to participate, everyone had to pay in $10. Winner takes all. The first day of the tournament, the first half of the day, I was tied for first the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Before the evening games, I was tied for first with one other person.
Yes.
After all the games from yesterday, or no, from the day before yesterday and yesterday, I am now in dead last. So,
Oops.
here's the problem. First of all, I got a little too greedy. I put ORU because they were in the tournament, and they were undefeated in their division. So I put ORU making it to the Final Four. I feel like that was a little too ambitious, but they got beat by Duke in the first round. um, let's see. One that I don't think anybody expected, Arizona lost to Princeton. I also had Princeton going to the Final Four. So now my Final Four for the entire left side of the bracket, fucked. There is nothing I can do about it at all. Um, hell, I even had Arizona making it to the championship game. So, uh-oh. And then I have Gonzaga winning it. Luckily, Gonzaga is still in, so there is still a chance that I can get the winner right. But when I tell you, I only predicted 2 games in the eastern end of the bracket. I only got 2 games right, which was Tennessee and fucking I don't even know the other school's name. I'm an asshole. But yeah, my bracket there is fucked. And then for anybody that's in my Discord server, I posted a link to where you could join, my little thing that I'm hosting for March Madness. And I made it to where everyone can put in 2 brackets. So I had 2 brackets in there. Summer made a bracket, and then Matt made a bracket. Good old Matt Atari. Shout out to Matt Atari. Um, so currently in that one, my second bracket is in first. And these are all gonna change, by the way. By the time we're recording this, the Saturday games haven't even started. So my second bracket is in first. Summer is in second. Matt is in third, and then my main bracket is in last. So yeah. And also I know me and Caleb talked about like what sports are my favorite. I am only a basketball fan for like 2 weeks out of the year. And that is only during March Madness. Like, I don't give a shit about the NBA. I don't really give a shit about college basketball during the regular season. It's only March Madness that I care about because I like the idea of being able to submit your own bracket, which is why, like, whenever I did the Amiibo tournament for the New Year's Eve stream, I wanted people to be able to submit their own brackets because I'm like, oh. And honestly, thinking about it, I should have made like a parody of the March Madness bracket with an Amiibo tournament. I feel like that would have done pretty well. but I didn't because I still have so many left to train. But yeah, so March Madness, I love it. My bracket is absolutely fucked all to hell. In the national rankings, I want to see where my main bracket's at. In the national rankings, my bracket is ranked 2.06 million. Yeah. Okay, my I'm done.
It sounds like whoever made like all of the underdog, like come out of nowhere victories is it basically shit post the entire and basically shit posted the entire March Madness bracket is really happy right now.
See, I picked a few upsets, but I mean, looking at the number 1 ranked bracket in the country, even they didn't pick Purdue losing. Like the top brackets did not have a number 1 seed losing because number 1 seeds, except for that 1 year a few years ago, never lose. Like that is the one thing that is a always a surefire bet. Like you can always put a number 1 seed moving on from the first round and you're guaranteed to get something. So anyway, that's my nerd out. All right, Caleb, do you want to talk about today's theme?
Yes.
Spoiler alert, we kind of brought this up last week. It's the zombie survival shit.
Oh, we're doing this that episode. I was like,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
we doing? Is today the zombie apocalypse one?
Also,
I didn't.
also
Even,
disclaimer, we're recording 4 episodes this weekend.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be gone next weekend, and then Caleb's gonna be gone the weekend after.
So we're just like, fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, we ball hard. All right, so since we're doing a zombie apocalypse survival, first off,
Mhm.
I want you to take a guess. Out of all 50 states, where do you think Georgia ranks on preparedness for a zombie apocalypse if it were to start now? There is an official guide that has all the states ranked by their preparedness from best to worst. So I want you to think out of 50 states, where does Georgia rank?
Out of all 50, I'm gonna guess probably 15.
Georgia is ranked 43rd out of 50 for preparedness of a zombie apocalypse.
Oof. What about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma is ranked 24th.
Oh, so we're both kind of fucked.
I mean, I'm more middle of the road, but also I live in Oklahoma City, so I am pretty fucked. Like I live in the state capital. That's not a good start. But Georgia just as a whole is fucked. Now, the worst 5 to live in.
I bet one of
Uh
them's probably New York.
so 46th is Pennsylvania,
Mm.
47th is New York,
Ah,
48th is Florida, 49th is Texas, and 50th is California.
yeah.
I can't really say I'm surprised by most of those though because they hold some pretty massive cities.
You're just over in New Mexico. You finally managed to make a small settlement that can survive the fucking desert and shit.
New
And then
Mexico is 15th.
a giant horde of soy boy zombies that all died in California and ran out of food comes in and just tears you all apart.
So then the top 5 states to live in, the
hmm
most prepared states. Number
hmm
5 is South Dakota. Number
Makes sense.
4 is North Dakota.
Also makes
Number
sense.
3 is Vermont. Number 2 is Alaska.
Oh.
And number 1 is Wyoming. And those are all states that don't really have, that much going on.
hmm
So you can tell that this is definitely, I mean, they based it off of a lot of different factors. Um,
Although Vermont is kind of out of right field, if I'm going to be
it
honest,
definitely is.
because I was like, huh, a place in New England that's actually prepared for the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, but the main thing that I think they based all of this on is density of the population.
hmm
Because, like I said, the top 5 are pretty loosely populated areas, but then the bottom 5 are very heavily populated areas.
hmm
So, Knowing our state's rankings in mind, Caleb, I want you to go ahead and start off and give me sort of your apocalypse plan.
Well, we need to set some ground rules,
Okay.
first of all. Are we dealing with Walking Dead zombies? Are we dealing with Left for Dead zombies? Are we dealing with World War Z zombies? Because
Let's
I got
let's go ahead and say that we're gonna be making a possible situation for all three.
okay, okay, that makes sense. Ooh, could you imagine if we had to take on Last of Us zombies?
But yeah, go ahead and make a situation for all three, because obviously some of them are more aggressive, some of them are a little bit more docile. You know, there's different approaches to this. We don't know what kind of zombies would happen in the real world if a zombie apocalypse were to happen.
Well, the thing is that it really when it first all starts to break down, where you are determines a lot, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Like I said, I live in, Oklahoma City. I am half a mile away from a Walmart. I'm fucked. Like, big stores, always avoid a big store. Oh, but you're gonna have all the supplies. Yeah, everyone else is gonna be there at the same time looking for those supplies, and you don't know who's been bitten.
Yeah, not only that, they're gonna kill your ass if you have the can of beans they want.
Exactly. Like, in a zombie apocalypse situation, niceness is out the window. Like,
Hmm.
unless you are able to form a small settlement, everyone is your enemy in a zombie apocalypse.
Everyone,
Unfortunately.
everyone is your enemy at the start. When everything starts to break down, there's always going to be sheeple that are panicking, that aren't thinking, and those guys are always the most dangerous. So if I'm caught in the middle of a supermarket and I see a zombie just burst in through the door, I'm gonna be honest. It really depends on whether or not I got the wife and the kid with me.
So let's do a hypothetical on both. One where you're alone and one where you have Charity and
Okay,
Leon.
I'm alone. I'm alone. And just Charity and Leon are at the house. Um, phone service is probably going to be down.
Yeah, those will
Um,
probably drop down within probably at most a week.
yeah, but I'm gonna at least attempt to call Charity and say, "Don't lock your doors." I mean, don't lock your doors. Lock your doors. Don't open them for anybody, and I mean anybody. And grab the second gun and get ready.
Yeah.
Just popping down. Um, I say second gun specifically because I don't want the internet to know how many guns I actually have.
You know, that's fair. That's valid.
If you ever see any of my, if you know, for like a podcast episode or a nerd out, I actually grab one of my guns and be like, "This is what I like about it." Just know I have more. uh, um, the name of the game would be to get to Charity and Leon as fast as possible,
Yeah.
and the roads are going to be very very crowded.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait 1 or 2 days, so there's also the conundrum that I'm an American soldier though. Those guys tend to die very fast.
Yeah.
Like in movies and shit. Like the
Yeah.
National Guard gets deployed and junk, and then they turn into like pseudo dictators and stuff, or they all get like fucking overrun because they were in the wrong place doing the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Right.
So I most likely I'm probably going to be like at work and stuff, and I'll have to like grab Charity and Leon and get them someplace that's far enough away from all of the action, but at the same time close enough that I can get to them, which is
Right.
a difficult balance to strike.
It definitely is a difficult balance because, I mean, especially like I said, with my situation, I live in the state capital here.
Hmm.
Um, and surrounding Oklahoma City is at least 10 other large cities. Like, to my south, I got, fucking Moore in Norman. To my north, I got Edmond. You know, out east and west, it's a little bit less densely populated, but still, I have big cities to try to get away from. Uh, Unfortunately, for my case, even though realistically I don't really see myself needing one personally, I don't have a gun, right? So the best thing that I can hope for is to find anything that I can use for survival, preferably bludgeoning weapons, because, like, if it's Walking Dead zombies, I believe that that's if they just get their blood on you at all. Or I could be thinking of a different zombie.
So Walking Dead zombies is a little bit of a gray area
Hmm.
in terms of bite is definitely you're dead.
Oh, yeah, no, no. I feel like bite
Unless
for any situation. If you're bitten by a zombie, and no matter what universe they're in, it's gonna be death.
unless you can amputate that sucker and fast, you're pretty much dead.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, preferably a bludgeoning weapon would be my weapon of choice. I would wait to come back into the city for about a week, and that's whenever I would try to see if there is any kind of weaponry left after places have been looted and hopefully, zombies have dispersed the major areas enough. Cause, I mean, like we've already said, being in a big city during the apocalypse happening is gonna be the worst place to be. Now, like smaller towns, like if I still lived in Manford, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people there. I can trust a lot of people there. There's places that I could go.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people out there, it's a more like small town. Survival instincts are more taught in smaller towns.
Yeah.
Whereas big cities, it's more of a, oh yeah, you don't have to worry about this or that. It's like, ugh. And like I'm not even gonna try to point fingers. I am that kind of guy. I am not prepared for a survival situation whatsoever.
You and I coming from the same small town, we at least know what that mentality looks like.
Yeah, yeah. Like we have a decent idea, having lived in Manford together, of like enough about survival to understand what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some small details about both of us that could help us. I'll
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and start here is I know how to cook. I know how to tell when things have gone bad even if they aren't molding too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Caleb knows this. I'm a fucking amazing cook. Um
Mm-hmm.
so like I will almost always be able to tell whenever I can use something or can't use something, most of the time just by looking at it or feeling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can tell if a chicken's gone bad just by the look of it, not even having to open the damn package and get
Mm-hmm.
a whiff of it. Same thing with, like, ground beef. Like, so if there's any situation where we need food, I know what can and cannot be used.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, I don't know when I developed this, but like no matter where I am, I can always tell where north, east, west, and south is now. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
when it happened. Just one day I woke up and I'm just like, oh, that's north. I just
That's
I developed a compass somehow.
so you've got cooking skills.
Directional skills. So like if I know the general direction of a place, I can probably get there. Let's see, what else do I have? Um, Surprisingly for my weight, I can be very, very quiet and sneaky. Like, I can't tell you how many times, like, I'm 240 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh,
I,
really? You dropped 20 pounds?
well, no, okay, last year I was 280, and
Mm-hmm.
then whenever I visited for Christmas in December, that's whenever I was 240. So in the span of a year, I lost about 40 pounds.
Good job, bud.
But anyway, I'm 240 pounds, and I can sneak up on people without them noticing. Like I know how to stealthily step and avoid anything that would make noise because I normally watch where I'm walking. So like those are definitely the three things that I feel like I would bring to the table that are beneficial.
Mm.
Caleb, what are three things that you would bring to the table that would be beneficial in a zombie apocalypse situation?
Well, I've got military skills. Um,
Just got the
and
whole
that's
fucking arsenal right there.
well, military skills, first of all. I know how to grow food, second of all. Remember, my granny was a horticulturalist.
Yeah.
she taught me how to grow food.
Mhm.
Like, I know how to do it. Not on a large scale, like, if you gave me a farm, I would probably fuck it up a couple of times while I was learning how I as I went
Yeah, but
along.
definitely like small scale if you just had like a small little farming trough.
Yeah, I will grow all of the potatoes, all of the carrots, all of the radishes,
Mhm.
all of the blackberries that you want. Those are the few ones that I have the most experience with, and mints. You want mint? You want mint? It's yours, my friend. Which actually could come in handy because if there's one other settlement, they're like, we're our life sucks. I'm like, hey, you want some mint? They're like, what? You have mint? They're like, yes. That make your shit taste better, my friend.
Oh, my breath stinks. Give me a leaf.
Just chewing on it like back in the old days.
Dude,
Um,
whenever I worked at a greenhouse, we grew mint, and I would just, whenever we had one plant that was ready to grow, I'd occasionally just snag a leaf off of it and just start chewing
um,
on it.
the third skill that I would probably say is that I can, is that I'm, is that I can, is Well, that's technically an army skill because the army's giving me quite a few skills. It's like, first of all, I know how to paint my face the most effective way that if I was in the forest or the desert or the snow, you wouldn't be able to see my face.
Well, then let's just narrow it down to like, since you have horticulturalism,
hmm
go ahead and just pick two specific military skills that you think would be the best for the scenario.
Well, weapons knowledge would probably be one
Yeah.
because I can take apart most weapons and put them back together. I can take apart, clean, uh, do basic field maintenance, stuff like that. Um, And then the second one would probably be my rucking ability. Rucking is where you're able to load up a bag, which we call a rucksack, and
Mhm.
just basically there's this thing called the airborne shuffle, and basically where it's not walking, it basically going you're just walking like at a really fast pace
Uh-huh.
and not really running because of the bounce, so you're just kind of power walking for like and I can so far I know that I can go 25 miles without stopping. And when I say
Damn.
without stopping, and when I say without stopping, like every 2 hours or so, we take like a 30-minute break and then we just keep going.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we have our three strengths out of the
hmm
way,
Weaknesses.
yeah, I was about to say, we're gonna have to list three weaknesses.
Okay,
Yeah, go
the
ahead, you
the
start off.
we both share this weakness, Jake. We can't fucking see without our shit.
Yeah, like if I lose my glasses, I mean, I can see, I want to say roughly 10 feet in front of me pretty clearly.
When I
Anything
don't have
past 10 feet, like I'll look outside right now. I can't read the fucking speed limit sign. It's not that things are blobby. I can tell shapes, but if there's anything that I have to read, or if I saw a person, I wouldn't be able to tell if it was a zombie or an uninfected from
so
past 10 feet.
so for me, if I took out my contacts or if I had glasses and I took them off, I would be able to see about right here
Oh
before
god,
things
so
got.
you're more fucked than I am.
Oh yeah. And the thing is that that's more clear. But you want to know the weird thing? I see colors more vividly whenever I don't have my contacts in and I don't have my glasses on. And
Hmm.
it's really really strange, but it's sort of like if you took, how when you take a stethoscope and you underfocus it. I feel like that's what most people experience, but for me it's like if you took it and overfocused it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But at the same time I'm nearsighted. It's really really strange.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the way my eyes happen to be shaped or something.
Oh, the
But
cone could be misshaped in your actual eye.
I have an astigmatism. But
Anyway, what's
um
the other two weaknesses you have?
my second weakness would probably be that I'm very very quick to anger, and
Hmm.
basic, and the thing is that most of the time, I'm not an angry person per se. It's just that there's always it's just that my one major, I guess one of my major sin of the seven deadly sins is wrath. So I've
Yeah.
got I've got like so I've always got that thing where if somebody like wrongs me, I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And stuff like that. And I feel like if somebody were to like steal our food, but if you were to like look past that, they've got a starving community and there's kids and shit, and they didn't know, they thought we were violent and stuff like that. My first reaction would be to take out my pistol and kill the motherfucker right there and
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And then let's say somebody is bit and they didn't tell anybody, I would be power walking towards them with a machete in my hand, like
Just
and
hack
like
and slash.
just walking through everybody. They're like, wait, 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 wait,
All
wait.
right, and then the third.
My third weakness would probably be that even though yes, I told one of my strengths is that I can go for hours. I'm not very fast. Like I'm very strong, but I'm not very fast. Like like even by the army standards, I guess I'm pretty quick compared to the average citizen because of the army standards and stuff. But
Right.
if I but when we take the physical test, like the physical fitness test, I literally score a perfect score on all of the strength tests and I barely passed the speed tests.
God damn.
Like this like in the army combat physical fitness test. Um there's the first event is you have to deadlift 340 pounds 3 times to get a perfect score, and I literally just walk up and I go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm done. All you got guys going at like 320 pounds and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
They're just like, I remember when I first did it, and one of the staff sergeants was like, "You big motherfucker."
Okay, so essentially then your three weaknesses would be what we both share: blindness,
Hmm.
anger,
Hmm.
and speed, being
Yes.
lack of speed.
Yes.
Okay,
Lack of speed.
so see, that's where me and Caleb balance each other out. I'm not very strong, but I played soccer, and that is constantly running. I am fast as fuck. But to go along with that, to
You're
go,
so fucking fast
oh yeah, no,
sometimes.
like I am deceptively fast for my speed. Like the other day at work it was raining and I had to
Uh huh.
sprint from one end all the way down to the other end. On the outside, another guy was
Hmm.
running beside me. By the time I got to where I was going, he was still halfway behind where I was. So like I'm fast, but the fatal flaw that goes along with my speed is my asthma.
Ah, yes.
So I can sprint pretty fast. If the goal is like a quick, maybe 2 minute burst of sprinting, I'm good. Anything past 2 minutes, my lungs will start hurting. I will
Hmm.
barely be able to breathe. So my asthma will really fuck me over. Like if I can get to a situation where I can run away and hide for a
Hmm.
minute, catch my breath, and then run farther once I know the coast is clear, great. But if it's a situation where it's like, flat land. Again, I'm in Oklahoma. The land here is flat as fuck.
Uh huh.
If I'm just in a flat open area, like on a street or something, there's nowhere to hide in that case, you know? So I would have to either A, keep running, which would put me in so much pain that I would likely pass out,
Hmm.
or just accept my fate and die. Um, so yeah, asthma's one thing, and then like I mentioned earlier, I don't have very many survival skills. Um
Mm.
I know the general ideas to how, but like I don't know how to start a fire. I don't know
Oh.
how to safely set up a shelter without like putting together a tent or something. Um
There's nothing wrong with tents as long as they're not fucking like bright orange or something, you know?
yeah, yeah, but like I lack pretty basic survival skills that I feel would be absolutely necessary in the case of being in a zombie apocalypse.
Do you know your rule of threes?
Maybe if you say them, they'll come to mind, but not off the top
Okay,
of my head.
so the rule of threes is that you can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 minutes in ice cold water, and I mean like literally Arctic freezing water.
Hmm.
You could survive 3 hours in a storm without shelter. So thunderstorm, blizzard, stuff like that. You could survive 3 hours without dying. You can survive 3 days without water, and you can survive 3 weeks without food. And you
Assuming
could,
that you're also having your regular intake of water. I knew
and
that
then
one.
and then there's like the third, and there's like a third one that a lot of people follow, and it's that you can survive around 3 years without people. So
See, I
basically,
can do voices. I can keep myself entertained.
well, that's the thing is that if you don't have mental issues and stuff like that, most people people are social creatures. So
Mhm.
the thing is, most of them cannot live very long without other people nearby.
Yeah.
Some people are fine, but it's a high stress situation. You're constantly surviving and stuff. A lot of people after 3 years go insane. So that's an add-on that some people have.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah, those are
right.
the rules of three.
So we have our strengths, we have our
Hmm.
weaknesses, we have a general idea of what kind of surroundings
Hmm.
that we are going to have. The final step that we have to make,
Hmm.
I'd say that our strengths and weaknesses kind of counterbalance each other.
Yes. So you're
We
gonna
need
ask.
to have a plan of where we would meet up if this were to happen. Preferably a spot that reaches halfway through.
Mhm.
My car can go 650 miles on a full
I
tank.
love
So
how I love how we're both like, yeah, we are meeting up during the apocalypse.
So,
Fuck this shit.
you know, hypothetically in this situation, my car
Hmm.
has a full tank of gas. I can go a full 650 miles without stopping, and my
Hmm.
car would be perfectly fine.
It's
Um,
around a 1200. It's around 1200. There's around a 900-mile trip in order to get to Oklahoma.
Summer just
And
texted. She's like, "Are you describing a zombie apocalypse?" Yes, we are.
what?
Anyway,
Sneak peeking the fucking podcast.
but yeah, so since it's about 900 miles between where you live in Georgia and where I would be
Hmm.
living in Oklahoma, I could
Hmm.
probably go a majority of the way because I know Jeeps notoriously don't have that good of gas mileage. Uh,
Mine's okay. It's like 20 miles per gallon.
that's
I
fair.
c- I can make it. I could probably make it around 400 miles without having to refuel. So I
All right,
guess.
so the two states that would, or three, I guess, that would be in between us, that would be better points to get to because these two states would rank higher on the survivability scale
Uh huh.
from Oklahoma and Georgia would be either fucking Mississippi or Arkansas.
So
We could also meet in Alabama. That's a more middle of the road sort of survivability preparedness. And then Tennessee, we could meet there, but we'd also be fucked because they rank pretty low, ranking at 36.
I guarantee you that's because of Nashville
Yeah, 100%.
and the fact that you've got the Smoky Mountains. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people would retreat into like the Smoky Mountains, and then like maybe that you could get a settlement up there, but I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so probably best bet just between Oklahoma and Georgia would be Arkansas or Mississippi.
Well, why are we? Big question is, we are meeting up, but why would we leave the state of Oklahoma specifically?
So
Because
what
I am.
I'm imagining here in this situation is
Mhm.
by the time we are leaving, gas
Mhm.
stations are shut down. Like unless you
Yes.
know how to siphon gas, which would be a survival skill that I do not have.
Oh, that's easy. It's actually easy.
I know it's pretty easy, but like again, I lack that survival skill. Gas stations are probably going to be closed. I'm needing to be able to go just on a single tank of gas.
Mm.
And that's kind of the situation that I'm going to imagine is for most people.
I feel like if we were to go, if we were to meet up in a state, we should probably meet up in Arkansas. The reason being is that Arkansas is a flyover state, first of all.
Right. Yeah,
So
there's not much going on in Arkansas unless you just like college sports.
I don't. The reason why I think we should meet up in Arkansas too is because it has a lot of roads leading back to Oklahoma, and here's why we should lead back to Oklahoma. First of all, your dad's in Oklahoma, and my dad is in Oklahoma. They're both in the same town.
That's fair.
My dad, my dad has has land and stuff. Will people honor that land? I have no idea. However,
Probably not.
exactly. You know, if we were to stop and settle in Arkansas, that would be okay. But I'm gonna be honest. I would try and I would try and explain to my dad, hey, we're gonna make it to Arkansas, and then we have no idea if we're going to make it to you. Just so you know, like be prepared to if you're ever in a pinch, try and get to Arkansas if you can.
Well, see, here's the other problem though, is since your car has less gas mileage than mine,
Yeah, I'll
would
just
you
still
be able to make it to Arkansas at a decent enough pace?
I can it'll probably take me maybe a day or 3 longer than you,
Mm-hmm.
but but I'm kind of a cold-hearted bastard, so I could probably do some shenanigans that would get me to Arkansas.
Fair. So we know our meeting places in Arkansas. You brought up both of our dads.
Mhm.
I would
Alright.
obviously be having Summer in the car, but then I could fit
Mhm,
3 other people in my back seat.
mhm,
So I could easily pick people up in Manford along the way. Like, that's not so far out of the way that it would fuck over my gas mileage. And then obviously,
mm.
your dad could easily drive one of his cars as well.
But would my dad abandon the land is the thing, is that
At
I think
this point, if he's too stubborn to abandon the land, he's kind of fucking himself.
Yeah, but at the same time, I can understand it because you know Herschel, The Walking Dead season 2, it literally took zombies swarming his farm before Herschel even considered
Okay,
leaving.
well then in this hypothetical situation, we'll just pick up my dad, right? So that way,
Okay.
because he lives in a trailer park that is
Hmm.
full of stupid people, so they would probably all get bitten somehow, and he would need to leave.
Hmm.
So I would definitely go and pick him up. Probably at least swing by your parents' place to pick up some kind of weaponry that they can spare.
Hmm.
Because making that long trip to Arkansas without any type of weaponry is just a horrible idea.
And just so you know, I have no idea what my parents' arsenal is. They do not share that information with anybody, not
And
even me.
see, I don't know what it is either. The only thing I've ever seen your mom bring out was a handgun. That
Was
is
it
all that I
was it
100% know.
was it the pink one?
No.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's the only one that I know of. I'm assuming that they're probably strapped, right? Like, I'm just assuming. So,
They've, they've
I'd
already
imagine they can at least spare one handgun and then maybe enough ammo to where I could reload it 2 or 3 times.
Mhm. They would probably set you up. It's like, "Hey," especially explain to them, "Hey, we're going to Arkansas. It's our best chance to get out to survive this. We're gonna go and meet up with Caleb, and then we'll decide what to do from there." Just stuff like that.
Yeah, because I know, like, your guys' property, it's pretty far enough out of Manford. Manford's already a small enough town, so I don't think there's going to
Mhm.
be too many problems
The
out at their
only
land.
the only problem that I could see in the long run is if a horde just happens to sweep through. If a
Hmm.
horde just happens to sweep through, they're gonna be screwed. But the other problem I could see with my land is, you know how we're right by the lake?
Yeah.
What if the dam collapses because nobody's managing it? Yeah, everyone downriver is kind of fucked. So if you live by the Arkansas River and like Tulsa and stuff, you better hope somebody's building the dam.
Unless you're very far inland, but yeah, that would be a pretty bad situation, which we would also have to take into account because the highways that would lead to Georgia, unless we went completely out of the way and wasted more time and gas, go straight through Tulsa.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I think there's at least one other highway that goes out east, but it would be
Hmm.
so far out of the way we'd almost be having to stretch towards Kansas just to reach it.
The thing is that I don't think the dam would collapse immediately. I think
Oh, it would take some time for sure.
because there are like dead man procedures on dams and stuff depending
Hmm.
on when it was made. But I think the dam could go a few years before it like collapses. And I think somebody would have enough wherewithal to go in and be like, dam.
Oh, the
And
damn dam!
yeah, goddamn dam. But let's think about okay, we're in Arkansas. What do we
Mhm.
do?
First thing I would do, we try to find a small town that may not have been looted as heavily, since it is a smaller
Hmm.
town, and has less likely of a chance of zombies, to where we
Hmm.
can loot non-perishable canned goods, other
Hmm.
foods that can last us for a while.
Hmm.
Just because since we're going to be on the road, we will not have the ability to grow anything, and we really won't have the ability to cook anything either, since we'll be trying to just stay in our vehicles. So we need something that we can easily eat out of a can. Sure, it might be a little ugh because it's not warmed up, but it's sustenance, right? It's food.
Oh, I eat MREs. I canned food is fine.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely try to do that. I can't really think of too many big cities in Arkansas other than their capital, which I don't even know the fucking name of. But yeah, try to maybe see the capital city just to see if we can find some.
Little Rock, that's the name of the capital.
But yeah, so we could try to find like a gun store. Hopefully, there's some more ammo. But since it would be a capital city or a larger city in general, there's a good chance that that's already been looted. Since you
Oh,
said it
there's
would take
people there.
about 1 to 3 days. If there's people there, that's another thing we'd have to be extra careful. That's where me being a little stealthier for my size would come in handy. I could easily go in, quietly scout out the area, come back, and let us all know if it's safe to go in. This is where your strength would come in handy because obviously if things have been looted, there's going to be shelves all over the floor. There's going to be stuff on the ground that most people wouldn't be able to pick up as easily.
Not only
So,
that, not only that, but because of my backgrounds, I'll be able to spot stuff that maybe other people would just kind of walk over, like, hey, look at this.
right. So yeah, definitely like my two biggest things would be, since it's a couple days later, there's a good chance of things already being dispersed for the most part. We get
Mhm.
food and we get ammunition. That is like probably the two biggest things that we can do in this situation since we're still going to be on the road. Another situation that would be good is if for
Mhm.
some reason, right, the gas pumps were all still running and had enough gas to where we could fill up and make it back to Oklahoma without having to run the risk of going on empty. But that's a very low probability because electricity is probably going to be out, and electricity is what's needed to power those systems. And we're definitely not the first people that are going to have that idea to try to get as much gas as possible.
Mhm.
So that one's more of a if it works, it works, but we're not going to rely on it sort of situation.
So, what would be the group? So let's say we're in a group, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we've
you.
we've met up in Arkansas. It's me, you, Summer, my dad, Charity, and little baby Leon. Uh,
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, I think when you and I are going out on runs and stuff, Roger stays with the women and the kid.
yeah, definitely.
I
Cause
know
like,
he's got shaky hands, but we're probably gonna leave him with a weapon too.
oh, dude,
I'm thinking some good old double odd buck with 9 pellet shotgun.
nah,
So
dude,
that
just
way,
just leave him a metal baseball bat. He's fine. You see how he plays softball.
that's true. But I'll
Man
leave him to.
can bash some skulls.
I know. It's just sometimes what if Roger has a lot of zombies? He might need to be able to just go bang bang bang. I know
I
he
don't know.
probably
I
won't
don't
like it.
know. Yeah, no, he would hate it. I don't think he's prepared for knockback. I don't think he's ever shot a rifle or a
It's a
shotgun.
shot. It's a shotgun, so
It'll
it's
still
actually
have
gonna
kickback.
it's gonna kick more actually.
Yeah, like I've shot a rifle and the kickback in my opinion wasn't that bad, so I might be equipped for a shotgun, but my dad, like I said, he's never laid hands on a gun. You know?
Yeah, time to learn, Roger. Here you
Yeah,
go.
it's a sink or swim situation. Like, I'm not saying he wouldn't do it out of survival. He
Try not.
100%, if it meant him living, would do it, but he would struggle.
I would be like, listen, Roger, you see these two women right here? They are entirely dependent on whether or not you can handle this thing. So so Seeker swam. Please try not to leave my kid to die. Tap him
Yeah.
on the shoulder. Leave. He's just like, oh shit. I feel like this would be like the. I feel like this would be like the one time that Roger's actually cursing is like, ah shit.
Oh yeah, no, he does not swear that often, but this would definitely bring that side out of him there.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah, like I said, his weapon of choice would definitely be like a metal bat because
Mhm.
again, since he knows how to swing, I'm pretty sure he could swing hard enough at a zombie's head to where it would just crack and it would die. Right? He
Yeah.
is he is that good. Man can still hit home runs at 62 years old.
Um, let's see. So you and I are going to be runners slash, looters
Mhm.
slash. How loose are our morals in this scenario? We have to
My
ask.
my morals in this situation would be out the fucking window. Like, I'm sorry, I am a man that values his morals, but come time for sink or swim, this scenario, fuck my morals. Fuck everything that I stood for. I am just trying to survive. I
Oh
can pick those
Jesus.
morals back up if we can ever get a small settlement going, but until then, no.
So let's pretend that you and I are like the main characters, okay? Like we actually managed to survive. We actually
We're
managed
the
to
main
get.
characters. Listen, we're the
Yep.
hosts of this podcast. We're the main fucking characters, okay?
Okay, okay. With this dream scenario, you and I just automatically turn into a couple of badasses.
Yeah.
So we're the main characters, right?
Yes.
We either get back to Oklahoma or we stay in Arkansas and they come to us. What are we doing? How are we going to secure how are we supposed to secure a place to live? I'm thinking, like honestly, I look at The Walking Dead and I'm just like the prison was a really, really good idea.
It was, yeah.
And the only reason it didn't work was because of other people.
Hmm.
So I'm
Like,
thinking maybe another prison? Because farms are kind of a no-go in every scenario, whether it be Walking Dead, whether it be fucking running zombies. Like a prison has fucking barbed wire over the fences and shit.
yeah,
So even if you had
definitely.
running guys, they'd get caught in the
I
barbed
I would
wire.
say that a prison would be a good idea, assuming that it has enough open grassy area that we can till for farming. Because
Well,
there's some prisons that are basically concrete jungles. You
concrete,
don't
just
see you don't see grass at all. So
yeah.
that's one thing we have to take into account is like we would have to grow our own food eventually. And we would have to occasionally go outside of the prison gates for hunting. Like
Mm-hmm.
we don't have the luxury anymore of being able to go to our local grocery store and pick up food. We have to be able to grow these things and kill these things ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'm down for the prison idea because, like you said, barbed wire fencing, fencing around the entire perimeter, reinforced fencing at that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that would be honestly the best scenario
They've got
for
an
all of us.
arsenal.
Yeah, assuming that the arsenal has not been looted, of course.
Here's the thing: we'd probably have to clear it, just like in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: people died when they did that, and we're gonna need numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're the main characters. Okay, I mean this in the best way possible. Which one of us is Rick, and which one of us is Daryl and or Glenn?
Mm.
Hmm.
See, I've
I
watched Walking Dead, but I don't know enough about the characters. Which one's the like more capable character? Because that's you. Like I'm
oh
I'm
oh.
I'm less capable out of the two of us.
So here's the thing: is that technically they're all equally capable. Like Like even Shane, who was like the kind of, remember the John Berthel, the guy
Yeah,
who plays
yeah,
Unofficial?
yeah.
Like like if it wasn't for his obsession with Lori and Carl, he would have absolutely dominated the world of The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like like that literally killed him, was his obsession with another dude's wife and son.
Yeah.
So as long, I think we're both clear in that area with each other. I
Okay.
think I have a sneaking suspicion that we're both okay. You know,
Okay.
just I, I I'm gonna just lay that on the table. I don't think that's a problem.
Gotcha.
Okay, just making sure. But um, so how it usually went is that Rick would be the guy who made all of the major decisions, and Daryl would sort of be like, and Daryl was always the guy that could operate by himself, but he would always do what Rick says because Rick is a lot better at coordinating people.
Well, then I'm definitely the Rick and you're the Daryl, just because I typically do try to have a leadership tendency about me, I've
Mhm.
realized.
We're both
But
we both have leadership
you're
qualities.
also very good at just managing on your own if and when you have to. I could not manage on my own. I would have to have a group around me that I would be able to sort of lead in the right direction. You know, I would
Hmm.
not be able to be the lone wolf in this situation at all.
If it like honestly, if I didn't have those two in the other room, I'd probably try to lone wolf it for a while.
Yeah. I know you would.
And like that's not even a slight against like anybody who knows me. It's just I'm a lot with it when it's me. I have less mouths to feed because it's just my mouth,
Mhm.
and I'm able to move more freely. Having The thing is that having that baby makes anybody attached to me vulnerable. Like that's
Mhm.
a vulnerability that we would have, is that there's a
Right.
baby.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, that's a good vulnerability in the long run because first of all, the kid's going to grow up in a world where zombies are just
Yeah.
everywhere,
So the
and
kid's
he's going
gonna
to
be adjusted to everything, you know?
yeah,
Like
and
if he
that's and
was
that
if he was already a teenager, then it might be a little bit of a struggle. But since he's
mhm.
a baby, he is learning this stuff as he grows up. He's taking this information in with his
Mhm.
currently, young spongy brain that just takes in information.
And I hate to say it, Jake, but if the zombie apocalypse is happening, and electricity is out the window, heat in the winter is out the window, we have no gasoline, like, and we have to grow our own food, we have to go hunt or slaughter our own animals.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to lay this out there. Traditional gender roles are back on the table. I'm just
That's fair.
listen. I have to go out into this literal zombie apocalypse. I
Caleb,
want you I want you guys
I literally said my morals and beliefs are out the window in this situation. I don't
listen.
care.
You, the thing is, and here's the thing. I love my wife, and I love Summer, but listen, like for some reason the thought of them like having to fight zombies makes me just go
Yeah, it makes me a little nervous too. Like,
'cause
don't
I'm
get me
just
wrong. The thought of it is it makes me anxious because I don't know how well they could handle it.
like, I bet my wife would be okay with the idea. I'm not sure if she would be okay with the application of doing so, because I think she underestimates how strong a zombie would actually be if they managed to like grab her,
Yeah.
because they have that death grip and they are literally focused on only one thing, and that's biting your face.
Mhm.
And she doesn't, and I don't know if she's strong enough to go yeah
Okay.
and kind of just whack them.
So we've got 5 minutes left of the episode, pretty much. So,
Really?
yeah. So I'm just gonna lay it out from bottom to top how this is going to hopefully go in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So, zombie apocalypse starts. We'll
Mm-hmm.
say in this scenario, I happen to be at home that day and
Mm-hmm.
then you happen to be on base, right?
Yes.
I am able to immediately load up and get the fuck out of Oklahoma City because I am at
Mhm.
home. I can take any canned goods that we have and head home. Since it's just starting, you are able to get a hold of Charity and
Mhm.
tell her to not open the door until you get home. Keep it
Mhm.
locked. Don't open it if anybody knocks. Don't open it if anybody asks for help. Just assume or pretend that you are not there because that is going to
Mhm.
be your best bet of survival.
Mhm.
I'm having to drive out of the city. I'm going to get caught in traffic and cars not
Mhm.
knowing what the fuck they're doing. So my car is going to get a little bit dinged up. I'm going to have to put the rules of the road aside. I'm going to have to crash my way through some cars. You're probably
Mhm.
going to have to do the same thing getting out of the
Yep.
base. Luckily,
Let's
since
say
it's
in
a
this let's say in this scenario, like the base is the first thing to fall. It's immediately overrun.
Yeah, so luckily you would have the armory of that. You could take whatever weapons you could get your hands on, blast yourself out of there, get in your car, get home. We're going to assume the best case scenario for us in these first crucial hours.
Like Fort Stewart was caught completely unaware. They had no idea what was going on, and the soldiers were like the first people to like get over and run. And I managed to get
So
out.
so afterwards, whenever you get home and
Mhm.
whenever me and Summer are on the road, we're still gonna assume that cell towers are up because those aren't gonna fall that fast. Like I said, I
Yeah.
give it I give it maybe 2 or 3 days before cell service is completely lost.
Mhm.
I get a hold of my dad, let him know the situation. I go to pick him up. And then after
Mhm.
I go, or after I get off the phone with him, after explaining what he needs to do, we're going to call each other. We're going to
Mhm.
locate a small, not so secluded town because we need to be close enough to a big city to get any other, goods that we can't get in a small town, but a
Mhm.
small town in Arkansas that we can both meet up at. I'm going to be
Mhm.
getting there pretty quick, so it's going to be up to me to find a more secure place once we're there.
Mhm.
But there's that. And then since cell towers are still up and all that fun stuff, uh just fucking GPS over there, right?
Yeah.
Because even if you lose service, once you start your route, your phone pretty much automatically has it downloaded. As
Yep.
long as you don't have to reroute, it will always keep that same track, even if the cell towers do go down or you lose service in a dead zone.
Mhm.
So that would probably be our best bet both ways.
Mhm.
Um, I get to Manfred, I pick up my dad, I go over to your parents' place, and let's say they're able to give me a pistol with an extra 3 to 4 rounds of ammo and a hunting rifle with only one clip, meaning
Okay.
I have to use that very sparingly, only in situations that I feel like it would be necessary. Because a hunting rifle is something that I have personally shot, so I know I could use it. And then pistols, I mean, most pistols don't have that much knockback, so in that situation, I could easily give it to my dad or Summer, uh, depending on what kind of situation we're about to be in. So then we go back to you. You get
Mhm.
home, you get Charity to open the door, and then you pretty much do the exact same thing me and Summer did.
Mhm.
You
Load up.
yeah, you load up, get any of your non-perishable food items, get any weapons that you have in the house, and you load those up. You're going to be well or way better equipped for this situation just because you know what kind of arsenal you have and you have an arsenal. Again, I'm having to get weaponry off of someone else. You have that
Mhm.
ability since you're already coming back from base and hypothetically we're able to pick up some kind of weapons on your way out and the arsenal you have at home. You are protected, right?
Mhm.
Like, has Charity shot a handgun before?
Yes.
Okay, then you can take care of the heavy weaponry, like any assault rifles you might have gotten off of base, or
Mhm.
shotguns, or hunting
Mhm.
rifles that you have at home. And then
Mhm.
she can easily have any pistols that you have loaded up in the car. Me and my dad and Summer start driving east. We head to Arkansas. We find the small town. We start scouting it out. This is where
Mhm.
things start to go bad because now that time has passed, more people have become zombies. So while
Mhm.
we're scouting out a place for us to meet at, we're currently having to thin out the population. Just to make sure that whenever you guys get there, it is a safe place, but also we can survive long enough while you're gone. Because since it's going to be
Mhm.
1 to 3 days, we're going to have to take rotations and sleep, right? Like
Mhm.
we would have to do that.
Hmm.
So hopefully thin out enough of a population to where we can safely sleep in our car or find like an abandoned apartment, house, or hotel that we can find some boards, board up the doors. One of us stays awake through about halfway of the night, the other one stays awake through the other half.
Hmm.
As you're driving, since it is mostly highways and you have longer to go, we're going to also assume that there is going to be a lot of cars that are either driving alongside you or stopped off the side of the road because they might have turned as they were in their car, and zombies can't fucking drive, so they're gonna crash. So you're gonna have a few more obstacles since you have to get there over a longer period of time. Uh,
Yes.
Luckily, at the end of the day, 3 days later, we're in the town that we agreed on already. You
Hmm.
meet up with us there, and then we're able to drive to Little Rock, which,
Hmm.
best case scenario, would be no more than an hour away from the town that we are currently in. We drive to Little Rock, and we go to look for a gun store, weapon shop, anywhere that would sell guns. Even a fucking Walmart or Bass Pro would do.
Yep.
So we go in there, and unfortunately, there are other people there. We'll
Hmm.
assume the best and hope that they will at least inspect us for bites instead of just immediately, shooting and asking questions later. So
Hmm.
they'll notice that we aren't bitten. We'll let them know that we're trying to get back to family, but realistically, we feel like your family's covered, so we're going to try to find a local prison, but we don't want them knowing that because we don't want them coming with us, That would be too many people to feed. We just want to make sure that it's the six of us, me, you, Summer, my dad, Charity, and the baby.
Yes.
So I don't know prisons in Arkansas, but we find one that has just a I want to say, like, we'll say it's a 25 by 25 plot of grass that we can till and do farming on. Just like a very small amount, but enough to keep us fed. And this prison hopefully would be located next to an area where we could find roaming animals such as deer. We could find maybe duck, stuff like that. Just animals that we could easily kill, and then we'd lock ourselves inside. But
Hmm.
other people have probably already had the same idea, or there are prisoners slash prison guards that have already turned. So
Hmm.
before we can even think about planting, farming, hunting, we have to make sure that every square inch of this prison is clear. We can't let
Hmm.
there be anything. And we're going to assume, worst case scenario, if the blood of the zombie gets on you, that is enough to turn you. So we
Mm.
have to make sure that we are at a distance, or in my dad's case, using a bat, we use only bludgeoning weapons because a stabbing weapon, blood is going to get on you. Like,
Mm.
no matter what. So we have to carefully turn around every corner. Um, we clear the prison out, we live there, and then hopefully, since it's a prison, they will have some kind of generator maybe and a radio to where we can always listen for other survivors. Um, that again would be a toss up though if that happens. So we just sort of make our own little settlement in this prison and see how long we can basically ride out the storm. That's our best case scenario. That's the way I would imagine all of this going down.
So, a couple of tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
After a little bit, we would want to find chickens and coop them in the
Yeah,
prison.
definitely.
Because chickens lay around every single day, so that'd be good.
Yeah, good
Uh,
source of protein.
And I know how to glass eggs. Do you know what a glassing is?
I do not actually.
It's how you preserve eggs without boiling or pickling them.
Oh, okay.
Like if you crack it, the yolk is going to be runnier than usual, but it's literally an egg,
Gotcha.
and it lasts for 1 to 2 years after you glass them without
Okay.
refrigeration.
Perfect.
Um, as for the arsenal, we're probably going to be looking at the hardest part about guns is going to be ammunition.
Yes.
So we're going to have to figure out a way to make our own bullets after a while, or at least our own weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And if worst case scenario, blood equals turning, this is gonna be this is gonna we're playing on hard mode now. But
Yeah.
Um, because it's quite a bit of a that's quite a bit of a caveat.
Yeah.
So just blood on skin equals infection.
We'll say blood in like any orifices. So like if it gets in your
So
mouth, your nose, your eyes, anywhere that can directly enter your body.
so we would probably have to go in with goggles
Hmm.
and bandanas and shit to keep the blood like off of our
Right.
to keep the blood off of
And
us.
try to make sure we don't get scratched, because if blood enters through a scratch, it's over.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to develop a little bit, like develop strategies and stuff. Um, Roger, Charity, and Summer will probably. I feel like the best way to get rid of zombies in the prison would actually be to booby trap it a little bit.
Hmm.
Like they had, like remember there were zombie pits in The Walking Dead
Yeah.
used by a villain. I feel like if we led enough all the zombies from the prison slowly one after the other into the pit and then set the pit on fire,
Hmm.
we could do something there.
Yeah.
Oh, what else? What else? What else? What else? Let me think. Having eventually more people are going to come to the prison.
Yeah,
So
no, there's no way that we're the only ones with that in mind, but not everyone's going to think of a prison to stay.
and also there might be prisoners or guards that survived that are surviving, and they're like locked up in a room, or they couldn't get out, so they're kind of holed up in somewhere. So we might have to deal with those guys.
Hmm.
um I think we should be fine. We should be fine. We should be fine.
Right.
But um let me think. I'm gonna be honest. The This is gonna be difficult because
Hmm. Definitely.
I feel like a couple of people are probably going to break down.
Oh, yeah,
But,
definitely.
I think we could make it. We
Yeah,
could
I
make it.
feel like in the
Mm.
long run we could pull through. It would just be very difficult in the first. I'm gonna say maybe the first year would be really hard to get adjusted to everything that's going on. But after the
Mhm.
first year, hopefully we've all become physically and mentally adjusted enough to where even though it's not an ideal life, we can make a life out of it. And
Mhm.
hopefully someone somewhere is able to end the whole thing after a decade, because
Yeah.
I feel like a decade would be the shortest amount of time if there was like a magical cure for all the zombies to die. A decade would be the least amount of time it would take for everything to go back to normal.
Yeah. And the internet, like the remnants of the internet would still be around.
Yeah, so if we were able to get electricity back or anything like that, there's always that. Could
Mhm.
hopefully find like chat rooms. Obviously, Twitter would still be a thing unless the Twitter servers were to shut down.
Mhm.
But somehow, if we were able to get power back, I'm pretty sure we could easily get internet access to be able to talk to people.
Another thing would be written word.
Hmm.
Like I feel like for the sake of at least our sanity, we should probably write down a lot of the stuff that's happening and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, I'm probably going to retreat into books a lot. Same thing with my wife. I know you're not much of a reader, but
I've been trying to read a little bit more. Like
could you
I got a library card and I have an app that just lets you put in your library card information, then you have a digital library.
Could you imagine if we're in the middle of the zombie apocalypse? Let's say it's 2028, right? It's been a few
Hmm.
years,
Right.
and we come into this new station, into a new settlement that we've been trading with for a while, and we look over old farmers on Almanac 2028. How the fuck? Still around?
Oh man, way to break the end of the episode with some comedy. Because
They're-
this was like it's not a realistically serious episode. Like
Like, no, not at all.
I don't think a
But
zombie apocalypse is gonna happen, but like this is
99%, 99% if zombie apocalypse does happens, we aren't the main characters, we are so fucking dead.
yeah,
We are
but
so
like
fucking dead.
this was fun. I'm glad you and Charity said that this would be a good episode idea. We're at an hour 10, but do you have a nerd out?
Not this time actually, no.
Okay, gotcha. Well, this was fun. I
This
enjoyed
was fun.
this. Anybody that's watching the YouTube version, leave in the comments how you would survive or how fucked me and Caleb might be in this situation, because whenever I was
Good.
talking about the hypotheticals, I was talking about nothing but best case scenarios. Uh, there are obviously multiple scenarios that could go down, but that was just best case scenario happening. Luckily, in this scenario, nobody dies, but we do suffer a little bit. Yeah, Caleb, anything you want to say before we head out?
Um, Listen, guys. When the zombies do come, they won't show up they won't be showing up in a shuffle. They'll be showing up in vans.
The fuck does that mean?
You'll see one day.
The fuck?
Ominous, isn't it?
Yeah. And now I feel like you're gonna start the zombie apocalypse somehow. He didn't deny it. He didn't deny. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Again, we're recording 4 episodes this weekend, so this episode's going to be pretty current with the time. Like I said, I brought up the NCAA tournament. The next 3 episodes are going to lag so far behind current world stuff. So I apologize, but yeah. And let us know if you want us to do any like hypothetical episodes like this again in the future, because this was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.